So today's topic is related to chemistry and some elements of physics as well. We have the atomic structure and bonding, that is more related to chemistry, while electromagnetic radiations, that is related to physics. Now, how to prepare these topics? I have given you notes, but also you can study metric, SSC, FSC, A-level, O-level books. Even 8th grade books can help you to understand the basics. If you have already studied basics of chemistry and physics, you can revise it again so that you have a clear idea about the atomic bonding, atomic structure, and electromagnetic radiations. As I told you that atomic structure and bonding, that is related to chemistry, while electromagnetic radiations, that is related to physics. However, as we are studying general science, so in general science we are studying every topic generally. So to understand bond formation, it is necessary to know the general features of the electronic structure of atoms. So please make a comment. To understand bond formation, it is necessary to know the general features of the electronic structure of atoms, because electron is highly essential for bonding, as we are discussing. So please make a comment. To understand bond formation, it is necessary to know the general features of the electronic structure of atoms. You will all know from your previous studies of science that atom, that is the unit of matter, we can say, though we have now subatomic particles as well, as I have given you in today's notes, that with the atomic structure that we have, that is based on electrons, protons, and neutrons. So protons and neutrons, that is in the nucleus area in the center, and then we have electrons, they are going around the nucleus. That is the basic structure. Now atom, in the beginning, it was considered to be the indivisible part of matter, that we cannot divide atom further. We can add atoms together. For example, we can add elements or atoms together like H2O, water, so we can make a compound, or we can make mixtures, but we cannot divide atom further. So this is a very recent discovery, that no, we can divide atom further also, and we have electron, protons, neutrons, and then we have further subatomic particles, and those subatomic particles are called quarks, Q-U-A-R-K-S, quarks, which are basically charges, gluons, which work like glue or gluons. It has its own function, which are subatomic particles. Scientists and philosophers, they are working on the truth theory, which is also called string theory, that what is the reality and what is the truth of the universe. So they have found that the truth of the universe is interconnectedness, that everything is interconnected. And how it is interconnected, that is because of the quarks, Q-U-A-R-K-S, quarks. Quarks are basically charges. So everything has charges. and we are all charged. If we have the atomic structure of a galaxy, Milky Way, sun, moon, satellite, planet, human being, cat, dog, tree, flower, anything in this universe, they have the same atomic structure. The same atoms are everywhere. I'm made of the same atoms, you are made of the same atoms, and everything is made of the same atoms with the same atomic structure. The same protons, the same neutrons, the same electrons, the same quarks. So that's why there is interconnectedness in the universe. For example, why are you here in this class? Because you are connected to me. Why I am here in this class? Because I am connected to you. So there is some bonding, and that bonding brings us together. So that is at universal level, and it is still research is going on this. However, at one element level or compound level, the science has done a lot of studies. We have modern physics, and we have now quantum physics, quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is a very recent phenomena, and it is a very interesting field. It is a kind of spirituality that observer and observed. When you look at something, when I'm looking at something, so the electrons are moving in one style, and if another person is looking at the same electrons, so it is moving in another style. So it means that observer and observed, they are interconnected, or they are one. If I'm looking at something, the thing knows that who is looking at me. And if you are looking at that same thing, so the thing knows that you are a different person and you are looking at that. But these observations are a very minute level, at the subatomic level, and at atomic level, because you cannot see it differently. For example, my mobile is here. I'm looking at my mobile. My mobile is there in front of me. And if you come here and you look at the same mobile, so apparently it is the same mobile. There is no change in the big level, major level, or mega level. But if we go to quantum physics, quantum mechanics, so there they see the difference, that the same mobile behaves differently when different observers are looking at it. So I'm just making it interesting for you guys to study this atomic structure and bonding with more spiritual, metaphorical, philosophical, advanced science levels, so that you don't feel bored. However, the basics you already know. To understand bond formation, it is necessary to know the general features of the electronic structure of atoms, that is, the arrangement of electrons around the central nucleus. How the electrons are arranged around the nucleus, that is necessary for the bonding that we are discussing. The modern version of atomic structure begins with the Ernest Rutherford's recognition that an atom consists of a single central massive positively charged nucleus surrounded by electrons. So Rutherford model, we call it Rutherford. Rutherford was a very famous scientist, and he gave us this structure, though Greeks have done a lot of work on it, and there was a Greek philosophy, and the name of that philosophy was atomism. Democritus was the first person who gave us the name atom, and he was before Socrates at that Greek time, and he gave us the atomism, which is the first discovery of the atom by Greeks. But as you know that Christians, they were put in dark ages because of the religion. religion told Christians that don't study these things, just chill, remember God, go to church, and it's all right. So Greek science was then not further improved because of religion, and Europe went into dark ages. And there are many, even Muslim today and many other people, they are still in dark ages because they do not do study on science. So atom consists of a single central massive positively charged nucleus surrounded by electrons. So we have neutron, no charge, and we have proton, positive charge, and then we have electron, that is negative charge. The number of protons in the nucleus is the atomic number. How many protons are there in the nucleus? This is called atomic number. In physics or chemistry, we call it Z of the element. For example, hydrogen, Z is equal to 1. Atomic number of hydrogen is 1. And for carbon, Z is equal to 6. So the atomic number of carbon is 6. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1. What does it mean? It means the number of protons. The number of protons in hydrogen is 1. The number of protons in carbon are 6. So Z is equal to 1 for hydrogen and Z is equal to 6 for carbon. Now a proton is positively charged and an electron carries an equal but opposite negative charge. So proton is positive and exactly the same but negative is electron. For an atom to be electrically neutral, it must contain the same number of extra nuclear electrons as there are protons in the nucleus. If the number of protons and the number of electrons are the same, for example 1 electron and 1 proton, so atom will be neutral. There will be no activity, there will be no radiation, and it will be not radioactive. It will be neutral because positive and negative neutralize each other, so then there will be no bonding. Hence the number of electrons in a neutral atom of atomic number Z is also Z. A hydrogen atom consequently has 1 electron and a carbon atom has 6 electrons. The first attempt to introduce quantum theory to account for the structure of atoms was made by the Danish physicist Niels Bohr. Very, very interesting scientist. And some people say that he was opposing Einstein, and both Einstein and Niels Bohr, they have their theories which are highly interesting. Niels Bohr, very interesting personality. In 1913, Einstein and Niels Bohr, they were living in the same era, in the same time. He asserted that the electron in a hydrogen atom occupies one of an array of discrete but infinite in number orbits, each orbit being progressively farther from the nucleus and labeled with an integer n is equal to 1, 2. This integer is an example of a quantum number which in general is an integer, in some cases a half integer. So when you study Bohr model, so Bohr model is more focused on the orbits, not on the number of electrons as such, and he then gave the name quantum, and from there quantum mechanics or quantum physics emerged. So you can study it further to have the understanding of it. Now when we talk about the atomic structure, as I have given you in the notes, So in the atomic structure, basically the atomic structure refers to the structure of an atom comprising a nucleus center in which the protons positively charged and neutrons neutral are present. The negatively charged particles called electrons revolve around the center of the nucleus. So this is very, very basic that already you have understanding. When we talk about the chemical bonding, so the chemical bonding is related to the atomic structure. A chemical bond is a lasting attraction between atoms or ions that enables the formation of molecules, crystals, and other structures. The bond may result from the electrostatic force between oppositely charged ions as an ionic bond, or through the sharing of electrons as in covalent bonds. So when the atom is neutral, the number of electrons and protons is the same, so there is no bonding. But when there is attraction and we want to make molecules, we want to go another stage after atoms. We want to combine atoms, like we want to combine hydrogen and oxygen to make water. Water is compound. Water is not element. Hydrogen is element. Oxygen is element. So we want that hydrogen and oxygen should come together to do bonding. So in nature it happens that hydrogen and oxygen it come together by the bonding. It is in molecules, crystals, and other structures. The bond may result from the electrostatic force between oppositely charged ions. Ion is basically charged atom. When the electron is out, the number of electron is reduced, so there is a charge on the atom, and that charged atom is called ion. And this kind of a bond is called ionic bond. Or through the sharing of electrons as in covalent bonds. In covalent bonds, there is sharing of electrons, while in the ionic bond, that is based on making ions. There are two very important kind of bonding, ionic bond and covalent bond. But there are two other bonds also, which is called metallic bond and hydrogen bond. So these four types of bonds are there. The details you can see in the notes that I have given you. A chemical bond involves atoms combining to form chemical compounds and bring stability to the resulting product. In this process, atoms can share or give up electrons from their outmost shell to bond and create a new homogeneous substance. So we want to make a new homogeneous substance. So for that, either electrons are shared, covalent bond, or electrons are lost, ionic bond. When an ion is made, ion is charged atom. Now the last topic, which is electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation in classical physics, the flow of energy at the universal speed of light through free space or through a material medium in the form of the electric and magnetic fields that make up electromagnetic waves such as radio waves, visible light, and gamma rays. You might have heard a lot of rays, radiation, like microwave in your kitchen, the microwave, or we have the sunlight, or we have gamma rays, we have radio waves, we have X-rays. You may remember the famous formula of Vib-Gyor. Vib-Gyor. VIBGYOR. So VIBGYOR means V means violet, I means indigo, VIB, B means blue, G means green, Y means yellow, and R means red. This is VIBGYOR. VIBGYOR. Now VIBGYOR is the light that we have. The light that we have. The light that you see in your not mobile, but the sunlight that you see, and you look at it. So this is basically VIBGYOR. V means violet, I means indigo, B means blue, G means green, Y yellow, O orange, and R red. So these are the visible colors that we see, for example, in a rainbow. When there is a rainbow, so these colors you can see. That is called VIBGYOR. But we have ultraviolet and we have infrared radiation. So which is ultraviolet means above violet, and infrared means that is below red. Red, that is the lowest limit in the light, and violet, that is the first limit in the light. So when below this and above this, that is called ultraviolet rays and infrared rays. So ultraviolet rays, that is highly dangerous to human, for example, eyesight or human skull or human skin. It can cause a lot of diseases, especially cancer, because that is ultraviolet. Why there is ozone layer? There is ozone. Ozone is basically O3. The general oxygen that we have, that is O2. But ozone is a special kind of oxygen, that is the formula of that is O3. So O3 is ozone, and there is a ozone layer in the atmosphere. So that layer does not let the ultraviolet rays to reach the earth. And when there is a ozone layer, hole in the ozone layer. So when that hole, because of pollutants, when the pollutions makes a hole in the ozone layer, so then the ultraviolet rays come and they cause cancer. That's why people in the poor areas or people in the polluted environment, they have a lot of disease. To study about the electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic radiation is goes with the light speed, and some of the radiations are highly useful. For example, we have X-rays. So when X-rays go through your body, so it leaves images, and then doctors can see there is some internet issue. So I hope you guys are ready to read the notes. And there are 7 types of electromagnetic waves. You should remember by name what are the 7 types of electromagnetic waves. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared radiation, visible light, ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, and gamma rays. So please make a comment that there are 7 types of electromagnetic waves. Number 1 is radio waves. Number 2, microwaves. Number 3, infrared radiation. And from here then visible light starts, VIBGYOR. And then we have ultraviolet radiation, which is not part of the visible light, X-rays, and finally gamma rays. So these are 7. I repeat: number 1, radio; number 2, microwaves; number 3, infrared; radiation. Number 4, visible light, our light that already we know. Number 5, ultraviolet radiation. Number 6, X-rays. And number 7, gamma rays. These are the 7 types of waves and radiations. So please read the notes and listen to this lecture, and you can do more research on Google and YouTube on atomic structure, bonding, and electromagnetic waves and radiations. All the best. Take care. Good night.